Hello Year 7, welcome along to our next lesson where we are continuing to look at algorithms, and today we are going to get stuck into some Python code and we're going to learn about something called modules first of all. So a module in Python is a bit like a DLC, so a downloadable content. When you first load up Python, certain instructions, certain features are already unlocked. There are other things that you have to add in later on. These are the modules. So when, for example, we load idle, we're basically only opening the basic features of Python. If there are extra things we want to use, we will need to bring them in. We will need to import them if we want to use them. That word import is going to be very important today. So make sure you take a good look at it because you need to spell it right, otherwise it will not work. IMPORT, import. Okay, so um, one of the modules that we're going to look at today, the one we're going to use, is the random module. The random module allows you to do some things that use random chance. So it could randomly choose a number. It could randomly choose from a list. It can randomly shuffle things around. It does lots and lots of things. And if you want to have a look at all the different modules that are available, not just the random one, or what each module does, you can find all of this online. So you can look for Python modules and it'll tell you about all the different modules that you can add in to your code. As I say, today we are just going to look at the random module. So I'm going to move on and have a look at how we actually get the random module into Python. How do we import it? Before we do that though, I just want to remind you about lists. So we looked at lists earlier in the year, and the list is here. You've got three parts to your list. Remember, this sign here is called an assignment operator. So in Python, we call that one an assignment operator. And a list can hold lots of different items together. And as I've already said, we can use the random module with a list to do a few things. So thinking about the parts of our list, we've got the name of our list. Remember, it can be anything we like as long as there aren't any spaces in it and it isn't a word that's already used in Python. We've got our assignment operator, and then we've got the items of our list. Each item is inside inverted commas or speech marks. You can use either. You've got commas in between each item, and the whole thing is sandwiched by the square brackets start and end. So just to remind you, those are the features, the three parts to a list. Where does the random module come in? Well, here is a bit of code, okay? We've got this word import. Remember I said it would be important? Well, here it is. Import random. That is doing the job of bringing the rules, bringing the items of the random module into Python, downloading the items into your program. Then we've got this second line here, class assignment operator, square bracket, items separated by commas. Each one's got a speech mark either side, close, square bracket. We should know what that one is. Then I've got question assignment operator, random dot choice, brackets class. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that does. I think if you investigate this code, you will be able to figure it out. And then finally, print question. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask you to pause the video. And I'm going to ask you to annotate or suggest, have a think, write down, make some notes on what you think each line is doing. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. I want you to tell me what you think each one of those 4 lines is doing. Okay, you might want to discuss it with a partner as well. All the clues are there. Particularly with that line 3, you've not seen that before, but I think you can figure it out. Okay, I'm going to pause the video now, and best of luck. Okay, let's have a look, see how you got on. So, here we have our 4 lines. Our first line loads the random module into Python, so we can use the random dot command. You will notice that later on we use a random dot command. That's a format that we'll get used to as we use more and more modules. So, the first one loads in the random module. This second line, class assignment operator Dan, Yasser, Cell, Robin, Batman, creates a list, and the list is called class. Dan, Yasser, Cell, Robin and Batman are the items in that list. The third line, what I wanted you to have a careful look at, makes a random choice from the list and saves it as the variable question. Let's just dig into that one very quickly then. So we've got random choice. So this word choice was key here, wasn't it? It's making a random choice, and then inside brackets is class. So what does that mean? Well, hopefully you spotted that class is the name of our list. It's making a random choice from class, and it's assigning that value to question. Okay. Finally, we've got our line 4, and it prints the value of the variable question. So it prints whatever is stored as question. Okay. So we should now know, if we've got all those 4 lines, what this program does when we run it. It's going to import random, make the list, choose randomly from the list, and print out that choice. Nice and simple. Right. Here is what I would like you to do today. I would like you to create your own code that makes a random choice from a list. And as a bronze, I'd like you to create your own list. So rather than using the names that I've got, change up some of those names. So instead of having Dan and Yes Sir and Sal, change up some of those names. That's the bronze. Other than that, you can follow quite closely the 4 lines in the example. So go to silver. I think most of us should be going to silver. Is I would like to screenshot the code into Publisher and label the function of each line. That is what we've just looked at here. That's labeled. I've done silver right here. So right here is a guide on how you do silver. Tell me what each line does. Gold, use your own variable and list names. So instead of sticking with class and question, change them. Change them so they're yours and they make sense for your code. And the challenge is to add an input to your code, which is then added to the list. So allow the user add in something to the list. Okay, that's a bit of a challenge. Now you may need to go online to find out how you add an input. You may want to go onto some of my other videos. You can go into the school shared in ICT resources. There is a help video section. You can go into that. That's why it's a challenge. Okay, guys. So you've got to try and figure out how you add in an item from the list when the program is running. Okay, don't add it in the code. I want the user to add it in. So it will say, which name do you want to add? Add it in. Right, vocabulary, focus really on module and random. And that word import, of course, is important as well. Import, we need to get it right. Notice on my example here, it's gone orange. Okay, that's just telling me that I spelt it right, it's working. Similar in the way that print goes purple, import is a reserved word in Python, so it's gone orange to show, yep, this is a reserved word and you spelled it correctly. Best of luck. You'll be on Publisher, remember. If you screenshot your code, so write your code, get it on Publisher, explain what it does, and then the gold, add your own variable names, and challenge, add an input. Best of luck, and I look forward to seeing what you get done.